Hi, I'm Jen,
Hi, I'm Brooke.
and today we're going to cover is some basic kicking, okay? And some of the concepts and principles that apply to doing a really good kick, okay? Now, there's two different types of kicks that we're going to cover. Right now, we're going to first cover is the kicking range style kicks, okay? So kicking range is where she can just barely reach me with her leg, okay? So this is not Chinese boxing range for us. We know that, okay? But we have to deal with a lot of these kicks. So what I want to do is first cover how to do some of the kicks that are thrown in this range, okay? And how to do it well, okay? So first one is just the front snap kick, okay? You can do a front snap kick, and that's done with the top of your foot, okay? Or you can do a push kick, right? Which is also done with the ball of the foot, okay? So first we'll cover is this front snap kick, right? And it's usually done to the groin, okay? Or if she hits me, right, and she brings me down, then this is a good time to do, yeah, right to the face, right? Okay, so it's a good kick to throw, okay, in that situation. But the toe is pointed out. Okay, and you're hitting with basically the top of your foot to the shin, okay? So how do you throw the kick? This is important. Okay, so we'll use the rear leg for now. I'm gonna give her a target, all right? Now, come around this way. Now, the first thing you'll see, raise your hands, Brooke, is her hip, okay? The first thing she's gotta do, okay, is drive the hip forward, this hip. Because it's going to kick. So it's got to lead the way. Okay? Second is drive the knee. Okay? But don't lose that hip. Okay? Drive the knee and tuck the foot. Okay? Straight. And the last part will be she'll kick out and then bring the foot back. Okay? So the important thing is that you use the hip first. The hip leads, the knee follows. Okay? So again, she comes in, that's it, and let it out. Good. That's it, again. Okay, straight. That's it. Use the hip, okay? Point the knee, tuck the foot. That's it, okay? Now, it's a good, strong kick, but you have to use your hip, okay? A lot of times, people throw this kick, but they just swing the leg. They don't use the hip. They just bring the leg up and, yeah, like this, okay? They call this a snap kick. But it doesn't have the body structure behind the kick. Okay, so it's really weak. The only time I think you could probably get away with it is if you actually hit the guy in the groin. Okay, you could probably do it. But when you add the hip, when you lead with the hip and drive the knee, right? Then the kick becomes really solid. Okay, really solid. It's the same as when I show you guys. Okay, and when you punch and I go like this, but I just swing my arm. I just go like this. This is all arm, right? We know this is not right. This is just like tag, right? We don't want to do that. We want to use the whole body, drive with the hip, drive with the elbow, come in. Okay, the whole body attacks through the hand or the elbow. Okay, so everything that applies to your hands that we've talked about, same thing, it applies to your legs, okay? So you gotta start with the hips, okay? All right, now, we're gonna throw the roundhouse kick now. Okay, this is also another very popular kick in distance fighting, okay? So right now we're gonna use the rear leg so that you can see. Keep your hands up, bro. Now, from here, same thing, okay? She wants to first get in a stance, good stance. First thing is she's going to point the hip. See that? She points the hip. Okay, now she's loaded the hip. She's going to drive the knee straight, and then she's going to turn that foot. Okay, pivot really hard. Pivot on that on her base foot. Okay, and that's going to rotate her whole body. Okay, but that hip is what's doing all the work, and then the torque of her foot, her pivot foot, is going to launch the kick. So from here, she drives with the hip. That's it. Woo! Wow, she knocked the stuffings out of this thing. Okay. She got stuff all over. All right. Again, ready? So from here, she pivots. Yeah, this thing's nasty. Hold on. I'll have to edit that. Okay. Sorry, Brooke. You ready? Okay, so Brooke's going to use her rear leg, okay, to throw the roundhouse kick. She's going to lead with that hip. The hip leading is the most important part of this kick, okay? So first she leads with the hip. Now she's loaded that hip, okay? Now she's going to drive the knee and turn her foot. Yeah, that's it. And she's going to do it in one movement, solid movement. But the hip leads first, okay? So she drives. Oh, yeah, nice. Do it again. Ready? Kick. That's it. One more time. Yeah, see, so that kick's got a lot of power because she's got her hip involved in that movement. This is the same as if she was going to punch. It's the same thing, okay? So we don't treat the kicks any different than we treat the hands, okay? So these are two different kicks, okay, that you can practice. Also the push kick, she's going to use the ball of the foot, and she's going to push into my body, right? And we use the same thing. So from here, what's going to kick what's going to kick me out? It's her hip pushing forward. So she brings her knee up, right? And then push the hip forward. Oh, yeah. Woo! That's a good kick. Okay? So that kick is going to hurt, okay? Because she's got her hip involved. If she just uses her leg, then that's not going to have any type of power, okay? Because there's no hip. Okay? But once she gets that hip involved, yeah, use your hip, push. Yeah, then I'm going to go flying away, right? Okay? So, again, I'm showing you these kicks so that you realize that the driving of the hip is the most important part of generating power, real power, body power behind your kick. Okay? Now, we have the close-in range kicks. Okay, so the close-in range kicks, okay, the first one you guys are familiar with, okay, and that's the stop kick. The toe pointed out, okay, your knee in, it's got a bend, okay, and again, you cannot just use your leg like this and stick the foot out. This is not going to work, right? Okay, especially if they end up trying to jam you, right? So what do you want to do? You want to bring your foot up, both shoulders square, your hips square, and lift your hip up. Okay? Got it? Lift your hip up. Get that foot out, right? Okay? All right, so Brooke's going to show you. So from here, the kick comes up, and don't go out, just come up, boom, and pop it. That's it. Don't go out. Okay? Just come up, sway your body. Yeah, that's it. Again. Sway. That's it. Come up. Good. Now, this kick, you don't have to do it fast. Okay? But you want to, just like when we punch, you can do it slow, but it has to have the whole hip and elbow connection, right, to the hand. Okay? But you can go slow. Same with this move, this kick. Okay? So when you kick, I want to come up. See? But my hip is involved. See? Right? I don't have to go fast. See? My hip is right here now. Okay? What I don't want is to see you extending already. Okay? So then trying to put the whole thing together, okay, because it's going to be too difficult for you, right? To try to do the whole thing, right? Then you're going to start reaching with the hand, the leg. Just like if you try to punch, okay, and you start learning all these bad habits, okay, it's going to be hard to fix. Just like when we punch, we get to medium range, okay, and then we stop. We get to medium range, bent arm range, and we stop. This is bent leg range, okay? See? Bent leg. There's no reason for us to extend. Not yet, okay? Got it? So from here, just get the hip up. Get the hip up. Got it? Get that position locked. Okay? So that your hip is engaged. Okay? It's no different than the other kicks that I showed you. The hip has to lead. Okay? Then the other one is using your edge of your foot like a knife. So we're going to use the edge of the foot. Okay, so this one, the knee comes up and out, just like we're taking a step. Up and out. Okay, we know the C step. Okay? But what I want to do is I want to catch the edge of the corner of the bag. So I cut it like I'm cutting with a knife. That, and I go straight to the ground. So from here, knee up, and then on the way down, my hip pushes it out. Okay, and you notice that my whole body moves in. Okay? What you don't want to do is come up and then down, but see my rear leg still back here, trailing. This is no good anymore, right? Okay. So once you bring your knee up and make sure you're facing your opponent, slash the foot, bring your other leg up. Okay? So practice both sides, okay? Again, using the hip to extend that foot to the ground. Okay? And once you have those two moves, okay, then practice, okay, up and down the floor. So like this, okay, yeah, okay. So I'm going to come up, and then I'm going to slash, and I step forward. I come up, and I slash, and I come up, and slash, come up, and then slash, and just keep doing this all the way down the floor. You got it? So that you get into a rhythm and you learn how to really engage the hip. Okay? When we do this on each other, okay, you have to be really careful. Okay? But we use different parts of the foot, all right, to hit. One is the point of the foot, okay, right to the shin. This hurts, okay? But we use this a lot, especially once we're in medium range. We're in here, bent arm range, and right, these little kicks, right, they really hurt, especially when you get the hip involved. Okay. Another is that blade of the foot. See, the blade like a knife. I cut into her towards her knee, and I cut. Okay, cut, and I cut towards the ground. See, I catch her whole shin. Okay. So these are all really good kicks, especially when you're very close to your opponent. Okay? Or the side of the foot, right? I get out here, okay? And then this way, right? I catch her on top of the knee or below the knee, right? And I scrape all the way down, or push all the way down. Okay, you got it? But again, I'm using my whole body structure to do the kick. Okay, you don't have to go fast, okay, but you do have to do it right. Okay, and that's the hip, engaging the hip. Okay. Another thing is, you notice I'm not retracting the foot. Okay. I don't go like this and then get out, or go like this. Okay. Or go like this. Okay. There's no retraction for our close in range kicks, our Wing Chun kicks. There's no retraction. So once we catch that foot, okay. Once we make contact with the foot or the hip, okay. Right? Then we just keep driving all the way to the ground. Okay? Or on top of her shin and onto her foot. Okay? Right? So we don't retract the pressure. That's the same as when we punch. Okay? I don't punch. I don't land the punch and then retract the hand. Like this. There's no pressure anymore. Okay? So just like when we use our hands, right? We put the pressure on our opponent, okay, and then put the body into it. So now she feels a wall, okay. And I don't want to take this pressure off unless I replace it with another hand or a different type of pressure. But your opponent should always feel pressure, okay. And that's what makes Chinese boxing work. And the pressure comes not from our hands, not from our foot. It comes from our whole body structure. And that's what we've been trying to develop, okay, is the body structure, the body frame, and then learning how to use it, okay? That's it. We'll work on some more kicks in the near future, other kicks. There's a total of 8 in the Wing Chun system that Hawkins teaches, right? So we'll cover the others, but this just gives you some basic knowledge of how to get away from just using the leg, and how do you really engage the hips to do all the work for you. And that should sound very familiar to you guys already by now. Okay? So practice the kicks, but only from the waist down. Okay, from the hips down. Okay, you don't need to practice from the hips up. I mean, you can, but when you're getting older and older, it gets harder and harder for you to maintain that type of flexibility. So practice anything from the waist down, you should take care of with your legs. From the waist up, you should take care of it with your hands. Okay, so it makes the job very easy. All right, so practice, and we'll talk to you guys. We'll see you guys next week.